What's up? Welcome back to the Connor Pena Sports Show. So in today's video, we're actually going to be talking about a reaction to ESPN releasing its way too early NFL power rankings. So 32 through 24, you have number 32 Cincinnati Bengals, 31 Washington DC football team, 30 of the Jacksonville Jaguars, 29 you got the Detroit Lions. 28 you have the New York Football Giants, 27 Carolina Panthers, 26 New York Jets, 25 Miami Dolphins, and then 24 Los Angeles Chargers. So I always mention, like, there's like a groupings. Even like in all professional sports, especially with teams, there's teams that might win the championship. There's teams that will make the playoffs, and obviously that fluctuates based on how many teams make the playoffs. There's teams that might make the playoffs, and then there's teams that won't make the playoffs. So this category is really teams that won't make the playoffs. The only team that I think might be able to surprise some people is the Los Angeles Chargers. Obviously, they were sitting at the 24th spot, which is like the tail end of this group. But it all just comes down to the quarterback play. But something also to keep in mind with the Los Angeles Chargers is they play the Broncos twice, they play the Raiders twice, and they play the Chiefs twice. So at number 23, we have the Denver Broncos. Number 22, you have the Cleveland Browns. 21 is the Arizona Cardinals. 20 is the Las Vegas Raiders. Did I say Oakland? 19 is the Chicago Bears. 18 is the Atlanta Falcons. 17 is the Los Angeles Rams with their new logo. And then at 16, you have the Houston Texans. Really, with this team, I really think that the Cleveland Browns don't necessarily need to be in this group. Not only were they in this group, but they were at 22. I actually really disagree with that. But obviously, it comes down to Baker Mayfield. And I mentioned this when I was doing my quarterbacks video, how this is kind of like a make it or break it year for Baker Mayfield, because if he's not going to be able to do it, if he's not going to be able to have something click this season, you have to wonder, is it going to click for Baker Mayfield? We have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 15, Indianapolis Colts at 14, New England Patriots dropped to 13, Philadelphia Eagles at 12, and the Dallas Cowboys at 11. So this is actually the first time I dispute as far as a team being too high, which makes sense. Like, the higher we get, the more likely that's going to happen. I don't really get it with the Dallas Cowboys. Like, I don't see what it is that they're going to do. I mean, you're talking about the losses of Byron Jones, Randall Cobb, Robert Quinn, and you literally look, what did they do in the offseason? They didn't really assess the Dak Prescott, and they didn't really assess Amari Cooper. And the other team I think is too high on this list is, like I said, is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I feel like they've hit their ceiling, and I don't think it's going any higher. I understand that they almost made the playoffs last year. I like their janitor playing quarterback at one point. And they do have Ben Roethlisberger coming back, and he's a very elite passer, or he was. And I think that's what's going to hurt them, is that Ben Roethlisberger, we're going to see him start to take a step back. Like we already saw with Eli Manning. We already saw it with Phillip Rivers. Ben Roethlisberger's next. But now let's get into the top 10. So these are the teams that almost certainly will make the playoffs. Obviously, 12 teams make the playoffs, 10 being the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I don't really, obviously, nobody knows how good they're going to be, right? Obviously. But realistically, how bad are they going to be too, though, right? But at the end of the day, I don't think Tampa Bay is the 10th best team in the NFL. I'm curious to see, because I see Buffalo Bills are at number 9. I honestly do think, yes, the Buffalo Bills are going to be significantly better because, 1, you don't have to play Tom Brady twice a year. 2, you just signed Stephon Diggs. Number 8, you have Stephon Diggs' former team, and that's Minnesota Vikings. I don't think they deserve to be this high. Personally, I think that, okay, yes, they still have Kirk Cousins. They still have Daquan Cook. Daquan Cook is a point guard. But when it comes to the Vikings, I just don't. I see their ceiling is a little bit lower now because they lost Stephon Diggs. How good is Cook going to be after he had the injury last year? Running backs don't have a long time in the NFL, if you remember. Speaking of which, that brings us to number 17, which is the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, re-signing Ryan Tannehill. I'm worried about that. I feel like last year for Ryan Tannehill was just like kind of like a hot streak. I'm curious to see if he can carry that over into this season. And Derrick Henry, you know, last year was the first year he was getting publicity, but it was not the first year that he was the workhorse for the Tennessee Titans. Running backs have a shorter lifespan than every other position in the NFL. The next two teams, number 6, Seattle Seahawks, number 5 is the Green Bay Packers. I actually would flip that, right? So I think there's a lot of question marks still with the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. But I think if the Seattle Seahawks are healthy, they should be better than Green Bay Packers if they're healthy as well. Up next is the New Orleans Saints coming at the 4th spot. I really like this. I'm really concerned about 2 things when it comes to the New Orleans Saints. 1, this has been a kind of a theme where they've been getting bounced out of the first couple rounds. That's my question with the Saints team, and it's also Drew Brees. Drew Brees, you know, Phillip Rivers replaced Drew Brees. Like, Drew Brees has been playing for a long time, and if we've seen guys who came into the league after Drew Brees already start to hit their wall as a quarterback, when do you think it's going to happen with Drew Brees, who's a guy who has had injury problems in the past? Coming in at the 3 spot, you have the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not sure about this, and this is why. And it has nothing to do with the San Francisco 49ers at all. It's like crazy percentage. I should have looked this up before the video. It's like 90% of teams who lose the Super Bowl don't make the playoffs next year. Coming in at number 2 is the Baltimore Ravens. I feel like this was just out of respect for the fact that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. I think the Ravens have a better team than the Chiefs. I just think the Ravens didn't make the Super Bowl. So I think when it comes to Lamar Jackson and his postseason woes and his postseason problems, I think this is gonna be a make or break year for sure. And that brings the number 1 team to the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think they should be 2. Ravens should be 1. But when it comes to all of this, I think the team that I disagree with the most as far as too low would probably have to be the Cleveland Browns and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think both of those teams are going to be better than what they were projected here. And the teams that I think were too high are probably going to have to be the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that both the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Green Bay Packers, they did this thing where if you don't get better, you get worse, right? Neither of them got better. So both of them are going to get worse. But let me know what you guys think. Did you see the full list of the top 32? I went over the entire top 32. What team do you think was a little too high? What team do you think was a little bit too low? Where is your favorite team rank? Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you like and subscribe to support the channel. Most importantly of all, stay safe and have a great day.